Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Thelma again. Welcome to my blog. So lately I've been reading a book written by Dr. Walter Staples. The name of the book is Think Like a Winner. And there's a chapter in the book where he talks about working hard on yourself. And that's really what I want us to look at today. I want us to talk a little bit about how we can work on ourselves. I know most of the things that I talk about on my blog is kind of centered around how we can improve ourselves, how we can think better, how we can avoid exposing ourselves to things that prevent us from thinking at our highest capacity. And so this particular chapter was very inspirational to me because he highlighted some things that we actually take for granted in our daily lives. And so he was talking about working on ourselves, working hard on ourselves. And the number one thing he talked about is responsible behavior. And I know this is going to, this is something that should be common sense because most of us from childhood are taught to be responsible, are taught to do the responsible thing. But as we begin to grow and associate with different people and come in contact with different opportunities and in contact with different kinds of individuals, we start to pick up other habits, we start to pick up other things that may not necessarily fall within the category of responsible behavior. And of course, we know that for every behavior, for every action that you take, there is a consequence. And for me, one of the most common or one of the most irresponsible behaviors that I have kind of been witness to one of the most irresponsible behaviors that I have seen people grow into and just run with is the idea or the perception of wanting to get something for nothing. And that's a very irresponsible behavior because, like I said earlier, for every action, there's a consequence. If you want something, you have to put some work into it. You have to do something to deserve or receive or achieve what you want. Whether it is just by being a good person or by being in the right place or associating with the right kind of people, you have to stop thinking, not to say that you out there are, but for the most part, a lot of times we're always looking for the quick way to get something for nothing. And that is one very irresponsible behavior that lands a lot of people in deep waters. I mean, look at our prisons today. Our prisons are littered with all kinds of individuals, both youth and adults, who basically have gone through life trying to, break the rules and just get whatever it is, pleasure, money, just get something by doing the irresponsible thing. And this is something that is very important for us to teach our children at a very early age. You have to be responsible. You have to think and ask yourself, this thing that I'm about to do, this decision that I'm about to make, this action that I'm about to take, what are the likely consequences? Whenever we take actions without thinking about the consequences of those actions, that is when we're liable to do the wrong thing and then end up in trouble. So one of the things that you need to work on as you begin to work on yourself so that you begin to think like a winner is you have to begin to think more responsibly. You have to begin to act more responsibly. And that is pretty much something that you will determine for yourself what is the responsible thing to do. If you have to question a decision that you're about to make, or if you have to question an action that you're about to take, then maybe the lines are not as clear as they ought to be. The lines are that blurred, then maybe you need to take some more time to think about the consequences or the possible consequences of that action. Another important thing he talked about that will help you work hard on yourself is time management. And this is something that is talked about quite a lot in business areas, in school and things like that. But time management, I believe, is something that applies to every aspect of our life. You have to think about how you can manage your time properly so that you have a better family unit. You have to think about how you can manage your time properly so that you can better manage your finances. You have to think about how to manage your time so that you can, be the most productive at your work. But more importantly, you have to think about how to manage your time so that you can be more productive for yourself. Because maybe there are things that we spend a lot of time doing that we really ought not to be doing. I mean, there's a research that says the average American spends 4 and a half hours a day watching television, I mean, if you're spending 4.5 hours a day watching television, then that's a huge chunk out of the number of hours you're giving in a day. Granted, some of us sleep between 6 to 8 hours or 4 to 8 hours, depending. So if you take that out, that means almost half of your day, more than half of your day, is spent doing nothing productive. Because for the most part, when we're watching television, regardless of, and not to say that watching television is a bad thing, but do you really need to spend that much time watching TV? Especially if the thing you're watching on TV is just for pure entertainment. So you have to ask yourself, if you want to be a winner, if you want to be an achiever in life, you have to ask yourself, what are you spending more time doing? Are you spending more time being productive, or are you spending more time just being, just not doing anything or not doing anything productive? And if you find yourself spending more time doing things that are less productive, then maybe you need to sit down and plan your day. And one very fantastic way to do that is by making sure that you start your day out with a plan. You have to have a goal, first of all. You have to have a goal of what you want to achieve. And if you've figured out what your definite purpose is in life, then that tells you how much time you have. That gives you an idea of how much time you have to put things into motion. And when that happens, you start to value your time more than anything, because time is like currency, and you're not going to just pour money down the drain doing entertaining things without using that money to be productive as well. So if we can manage our money and count our finances and apportion certain amounts to bills and things that we consider to be important, why can't we do the same with our time? It's very important. I was listening to a video by a 13-year-old boy who was talking about, starting your day out with a plan every day. So you start your day out and make a list of the things you want to achieve for that day. And if at the end of the day, you go back and look at that list and you feel that you didn't really achieve as much as you hoped to achieve, then maybe you need to restructure the following day so you can be more productive. And so you need to start being more conscious and more careful about how you plan and how you execute your daily activities. And then, of course, another very important thing that he talked about that helps with time management, with working hard on yourself, is personal development. And I've talked about personal development a lot of times. I've talked about how we can develop ourselves by reading books, spend less time watching TV, news, and things that are counterproductive, spend more time reading books, listening to audios by people. There's a lot of motivational speakers out there. There's a lot of life coaches out there. There's a lot of people out there who have gathered wisdom over the years and are willing to share that. Of course, some of them require that you pay for it, but there's a lot out there that is free information that you can have access to. Look for books written by people that have been where you want to go, and spend more time reading those books, spend more time listening to those audios, spend more time in increasing your knowledge, spend more time building on the things that you want to achieve, and positioning yourself to aligning yourself with the right kind of people that will get you to where you want to get to faster. And that is one way that you can develop yourself personally. There's a lot of other ways, but for the purpose of time, those are the main things that I was going to touch on. But ultimately, the point of all this is this: you cannot be as productive as you want to be, or as is required to be successful, if you live your life by chance. If you leave things to chance, you have to make a choice, a conscious choice, to do the things that you need to do to get you to where you need to get to. None of us, when we go to our jobs, just sit down there and just get up, go to the break room, and just do anything and everything outside of our work, because we know that we don't get paid at the end of the day if we don't perform the tasks that have been assigned to us. Now, some people are more dedicated than others, and that's the way we handle our lives. Some people are more dedicated to getting paid by life, by their actions, by the steps that they take. In other words, by living more responsibly, by developing themselves personally, and just managing their time and doing things that require conscious decision-making efforts towards whatever goal they want to achieve. And that's the point of this whole conversation, is you need to work hard on yourself if you want to be as successful as you want to be in life, if you want to be a winner in life. I hope this message has been useful and will help somebody out there. As always, share your comments with me, follow my blog, and of course share your comments and share this video with those that you love if you feel that there's something here that they can benefit from. And as always, I look forward to hearing from you, so please share your feedback. Thank you and have a wonderful day. You have a blessed day.